And we are live, just testing my mic levels. How's everybody doing this week? I am ready to jump back in the saddle because I took last weekend off. The week before that, I had COVID. And last weekend, I got up on Saturday and I'm like, I was leaving it until the last minute, and my voice just was not there last weekend. And over this week, I've tried to pick back up the slack and put out a few videos, but I'm feeling pretty good. If you've had COVID before, you get over it, and then you kind of still feel it in the bottom of your lungs for a while. That I'm kind of in that stage, but I'm feeling a lot better. So we're back in the saddle, got a lot of new things to talk about. Several people hanging out now, gathering the magics in the house. Welcome. And a recent super chat giver, so I do appreciate that gathering. KGM Jams here says, what's up, Bronze Dragon and everyone. Gathering says, good morning, working on the end of season grind. Yep, we've got less than a day left on that season. Last time it rolled around, it was actually right on a Saturday. So pretty interesting. And we might take a look at my secondary account today because I've never spent any glint from the last season on my secondary account. So we might take that into look. I also have a couple of surprises. Actually, it's not a surprise. I mean, I bought some beta packs this week, so we might open one or two of those. Figured that would be kind of fun because the price has really dipped down. So I was like, well, why not, So let's see here. Gathering says he's getting slightly more glint this season than last. Well, all these changes they've been putting into the game are having different effects as far as how many people are playing in Wild, and then as the player number fluctuates, that's going to affect your overall what you get out of it as well. Obviously that's not taking into account, if you improve your deck on a season by season basis, which hopefully you are with the glint, that's the point, right? If you're relatively new to the game, or if you're joining me from another game I cover, Splinterlands is a game where you can get in and play, and as you're playing, you get what's called glint, and you can spend that glint on what's called soulbound rewards cards and use those. Those can't be bought, sold, or traded for the time being, but you can use those to strengthen your deck and play at a higher level. Overall, that's the idea. So with that said, that's what we're talking about. Dehota's in the house, says, hey, BD, I can't stay, but we'll watch later on replay. Well, thanks for dropping by for a few minutes. Appreciate it. I think Dehota's on a much different time zone than we are here in the States, so I do appreciate anybody who drops by, first of all, and secondly, especially if you're on a much different time zone, if you're prioritizing your time to stay up late and listen to us and hang out with us, I appreciate that as well. So, let's see here. Crypto Beavers here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in this fine world. Thanks, Gathering. I am feeling better. Ankh12C is in the house. Yes, please do smash that like. Ankh was hanging out with me the other night as I've been playing Seraph Into the Darkness, which is a new game, Diablo style. That I've been really enjoying. It's on the BNB and ETH blockchains, so we might be able to talk about that a little bit as well. Paul Taylor's in the house, says howdy. Hey, Paul. Elliot's in the house. Good morning. Thanks for dropping by, Elliot. Jabby Saints is here. Hey. And if you remember where what show that's from, drop it in the chat if you're old like me. Good morning, Rooney207. Well, thanks. Rooney207 says I'm looking better. Yes, I'm in much better spirits. I'm feeling better. It's just that last week, if you've had COVID, you know how it goes. But it's an interesting thing that since I've had my immunizations and everything, it's turned COVID into almost like a flu-like situation. instead of being like deathly. So I do appreciate that. And I also tried this new drug they've got out, which vastly reduces the amount of time you're sick. So that worked out well. So just go ahead and drop in chat what you want to talk about. We've got a lot of different things we could talk about. I've been kind of just, I did put a video out this last week as far as what I did on my primary account as far as buying glint. I've basically spread out my purchases, but I'm kind of really honed in on the epics because I think that, Gathering and myself and a number of other people have done videos. I think the epics, not that I'm really having a good time with this new Soulbound set, and there are some good cards sprinkled throughout, right? But I think the epics is where the main strength of this set is. So we can take a look at that just for the sake of discussion. I was looking at betas. I did buy those beta packs earlier, and I was like, well, what's the possibility? More than likely, we all know you open packs and you're probably not going to get back what you put into the pack as far as purchase price. And logically speaking, it's probably better for me to just keep the packs, having gotten what I consider a good deal on them for the future. But then I'm looking at the beta, I'm like, well, what could I get, And I pulled up the legendaries, and you can see here, a sprinkling of $10, $15 cards, a few $35. I always wanted a Cryptmancer card. And me and dragons. I love dragons, so I would love a lightning dragon. But obviously, I think my main point overall is that I probably won't get the money back. But here we might. I think I'm going to open up a beta pack, and we'll take a look at Glint. But as far as on my secondary account, but let's take a look at the Rebellion rewards cards. And I wanted to hone in on the. Why is that not coming up? Let's do a reset. Obviously you can't sell those. So let's just go over to my set and go to, yeah. Okay, so let's hone in on the epics. And one of the big, the cards that Gathering's big on is the Arachne Weaver. And I don't have a lot of experience with that. However, I do have a decent amount of experience with Olivia the Brook and Night Reaper, and all these are very strong cards. And I would put in an extra word for the Halfling Refugee, which at first look doesn't appear to be a whole lot. But when you look at it that it's only 1 mana and you're getting 3 damage, and at level 3 it picks up healing. So even though it has that weary, which could possibly take it out of the match, you start off with an extra 2 damage, especially in a situation where you have it can attack from any location, one of those kind of rule sets. It's a really good addition to your deck, especially in low mana. But I went back to the wrong one. Okay, let's see what everybody said. Have you tried other Hive games? Jabby Saint says, yes. In fact, I am playing a lot of Hive games. Okay, you can see my screen here, and you can see the tabs I have open. So on a daily basis, of course, I go to the page and it needs to be refreshed. On a daily basis, I play Decrops. I also play Rising Star, which as soon as I click over on it, it makes its sound effect. I play Alien Worlds too, but that's not on Hive. I play TerraCore. I play Splinterforge. I play Golem Overlord. It's been a while since I played Immortal Creed, but I do play Immortal Creed once in a while. I play Woo. So actually I need to check my balance for staking today. So you can stake Wu totem. I wait until my I do allocate some Hive power to the game, and then I get a little bit out of that, and I also get staking rewards out of Wu. And when this total hits 1,000, then I go ahead and claim, and then I keep rolling it over. You can see I have a 362,000. But if your question is, do I play other games, Hive games? The answer is yes. And that's probably not all the games I play, but those are the ones I keep an eye on a daily basis. And Gathering says epics are key, and I agree with you. Let's take a look at Arachne Weaver. Gathering has talked about this card several times on his channel, but whenever you get... So it starts out with the Corrupted Healing. And then at level 3, it picks up Scavenger, which we all know can really increase the strength of the card, or increase the effectiveness of the card, let me say. And then at top level, it also picks up Poison. So I would agree. I don't play Death that often, so that is probably why I will say that Olivia the Brook is... a very interesting card to play, especially once it hits, really you need it at level 2 for it to start getting interesting. But at the top level, it picks up Reflection Shield, which obviously just makes it harder to hit. Gathering asks, any gold foil from beta packs would be cool, or says, yeah, I would agree. I would agree. Obviously, if you go over and go to beta, well, that's alpha core, and then switch over to gold, you can see that the values go way up really quickly. But I think that can be said with most gold foils, except for, of course, Chaos Legion. It's also an interesting comparison. We're looking at the new set, which is a little bit on the difficult side to tell the difference between a standard foil and a gold foil versus a beta. It's very right up in your face that it's a gold foil, right? Onk12C says, good luck with the beta pack. Well, thanks. I'll need it. Gathering says, I win probably 80% plus with the Weaver. I love it. Well, I'll have to check it out. What's your... what's the go-to combination of summoner with that? Let's go over to my set and go to summoners. No, we want standard foil. And then go to death, of course. I guess it would be either Thaddeus or Octavia, unless you have one of the higher end death ones. Jabby Saint says, so which Hive game aside from Splinterlands do you like the most? That's an interesting question. I currently would have to say Golem Overlord. Golem Overlord, I run a... well, run is probably the wrong adjective or verb to use in this context, because I put most of the big changes up for a vote. But I have a guild, and we have, let's see, let's go to the guild. So we have a lot of people that hang out here on this channel here as well in the guild. And we're doing pretty well. And I like the development in the game, although I do think that he's taken a hard right turn and went for this conquest instead of what he was originally going for in the game. I think that he's put a lot of token burn mechanisms into the game right from the outset, which has kept the tokens at a relatively decent amount. And as far as price and... not a whole lot of fluctuation there, but I like what he's done with the game. So I would have to go with Golem Overlord, and I'm having a good time. I play it. This is probably the second most game I've spent time in on a daily basis, other than Splinterlands, on the Hive blockchain. Now, recently, over the last week and a half, I've been playing Seraph, which I've been having a good time with, but that's on BNB and ETH. Okay, let's see here. Gathering says pair Weaver with the Night Ghoul. Okay, let's take a look at the Night Ghoul and look at the units. Night Ghoul is in what set? Let's see here. Is that Chaos Legion? Here it goes. Yeah, here we go. So Night Ghoul is Rift Watchers, right? I don't know what that symbol means. I should by this point, but yeah, it's Rift Watchers. I was right. So there you go. I don't even have Night Ghoul maxed out, and it's a common. I do know that it's a good card. So at level 6, it's a very strong tank. At level 6, it picks up Force Field. So it does look like it's handy before level 6, but with that Force Field, it makes it a lot handier and a lot more up front with the tank. Obviously maxed out, you've got a very strong tank considering it's a common. 6 damage, 3 speed, 6 shield, and 11 health. So, and he said pair that up with the card we were looking at, which is Epic, which is Arachne Weaver. Good point. Good call out. Okay, so Jabby Saint says, so far for me, Thanalorian Blade, which I believe is a rare, right? Let's see here. Let's go back and let's go to rares. Nope, it is not. Oh, it is an epic as well. So I did like the look at this as well. I also like the art style. A lot of these cards lend to like the, I don't want to say manga, that's the book, but anime style. And not that I'm an anime head, but I like the artwork. I still don't like the backgrounds on these. I understand why they made the change, but I still don't really necessarily like the backgrounds. You know, and this is one of those ones that scales up. So at level 2, okay, it starts off with Opportunity. Decent little card for 6 mana. I would argue that there are better cards at 6 mana for this, but once it picks up that second power at level 2, or at level 1 it starts off with just Opportunity. At level 2 it picks up Execute, which makes it even stronger, and level 3 it picks up Lookout, which is a relatively new power. Adjacent units receive 1 less damage from attackers with Sneak, Snipe, and Opportunity. Additionally, all units take half damage from ambushes as long as Lookout. Yeah, this is really nice, especially if you were expecting a bunch of, you know, especially in the rule set where okay, so think about this. I'm going to throw this at you. The rule set is one of the rule sets that makes everyone have Sneak or Snipe. Throw this in, and then this is automatically reducing everything your opponent throws at you by 1. Yeah, I would say this would be a no-brainer on one of those rule sets. And then, of course, at the very top, you also throw in Trample. So, like I said, this just strengthens my statement that I think the power in this set is in the epics. Not that the legendaries are bad, but the legendaries, once again, they come up with I do like Grifsy and Gallicus, but a lot of these are very, very specific use cards, right? But that goes back to my statement. I've talked about this a number of times. It's like from common on up, the cards do get stronger, but they also get a lot more specific use and a lot less general. So let's catch up with what everybody's saying. Gathering says, only downside is it doesn't heal itself, but will get scavenged at higher levels. Yep. KGM agrees with the Golem Overlord discussion. Yep, KGM's in my guild over there, and I am in his guild with my secondary account, which we will take a look at. because mainly I was thinking that I had not spent any glint on this account. I just advanced into Diamond 2. This card set, if you haven't been following me for long, my secondary account just basically has extra cards from my primary account, but it has been going for quite a while, and it does have a buildup of soulbound cards. I had a brain fart there. So I have 305,000, and I made about 55,000. It looks like I'm lined up to make more than what I did last season, like Gathering was talking about. But I have a bunch of glint we can spend. Let's take a look at where this account actually sits with reward cards. Let's look at the epics specifically, since we were talking about epics. So it doesn't have a whole lot of epics. Obviously, this has a lot. This secondary account has less glint to spend than my primary, but we can probably look at some epics. Gathering says Thaddeus Brood, Wendigo, Night Ghoul, Weaver, Warden, Arborist, and Kabbalist mainly. Okay, so he's talking about combinations there for death. Sounds good. Just so you know, Shard is selling for about 1 cent a piece now. You have a nice bag of Shard. Can use it on other games. Yeah, however, one of the... and we started doing this, right? When we, Gathering I kind of got into this at almost the same period, right? One of the things that attracted me to the Hive blockchain is that there's a lot of games, and you can play the games, and you can sell off tokens here and use them for games over here and whatever you have. But one of the offsets of being a guild leader is that you often have to fill in the gaps and spend, basically, I keep my Shard for pumping into the guild. Because one of the things that they've done is with the new skills that we are researching. By the way, this last week we did get into Blueprint Claim Multiplier, which with these skill levels, the blueprints has quickly became a choke point. Okay, so we're researching pretty quickly, but you can't actually activate those researches until you get the amount of blueprints. So we're concentrating on the blueprints. Took us a while to get here, but it's a huge amount of blueprints to actually activate that. So I activated Blueprint Claim Multiplier first level this yesterday. But it took like, let's check over on chat. Yeah, it took 72 blueprints to activate that. But back to your back to that discussion really is that most of my Shard that I've been using has been used to help out the guild really. So a lot of these researches take some of them take Shard, some of them take part. So I'm keeping my bags, and I haven't really transferred any out of Golem Overlord in quite a while because I've been using them for the guild. But that's where I stand on that. But yeah, it is a nice thing about playing different games on the Hive blockchain, because you can transfer back and forth, right? Use them for various games. In fact, I've used various things like various tokens from the different games to buy, like I bought a new property the other day, and I bought a few new seeds. As you can see, we are in the fall. We're in the fall currently over here. But yeah, good point though. Lee, welcome. Any info on what happens to your Atlas Earth plots when you pass away? Yeah, I replied to you. Thanks of all. I was thinking about making a short video. Lee's here from my Atlas Earth coverage. And in fact, I still have the tab open. Basically, just for those of you who play Atlas Earth, if one of these days we're going to pass away, but the question is, what happens to your account? Well, this is exactly what happens, and this can be found over under the Atlas Earth help section. The next of kin would contact Atlas Earth support through opening a ticket, and they would include the now now passed away user's email address for reference so they can look up the account, and then attach a scan of the death certificate to the ticket. The team would look up the status of the account, and if there is over $5 owed to the account, they would take whatever amount was owed to that account, even if it was $200-300, whatever had racked up, whatever, and send it to the next of kin via PayPal. Or if you're outside the United States and can't use PayPal, they would use some other method. And then that person's account would get closed off, and all the things that account owned, all the property and badges and everything, the property would just go back into the game, and it would be freed up for whoever. So if you're not familiar with Atlas Earth, it's another game I've been covering. And we'll just switch over here just for a second, take a look at where I'm at. And you can see I'm at 220 properties right now. I am in the 15% boost. You can see the numbers of my parcels by rarity pretty much go by what's expected drop rate of the game. I'm a little bit ahead on legendaries by 1, but I'm a little bit behind on rares, so it kind of evens out, and I'm in the 15% boost, and as you can see, I'm at about $80 earned so far, and I have not cashed out yet. Well, I cashed out $5 to PayPal just to show I could do it for a video one time, but I'm about $80 earned, and I'm currently at 4,290 Atlas Bucks saved up towards the 7,000 I need for my next tier jump, which would be buy another 70 parcels of land, which will go around my main parcel. I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm just going around where I live and just buying a huger and huger plot. But that's where I stand there, and that is the answer to Lee's question. So hope you like that. And yeah, I was thinking about going ahead and making just a short video to put on YouTube, because I thought that was a good topic as far as, hey, what happens to my it would actually, that's actually a good topic to cover overall, like even in Splinterlands, like look up what happens, what should you do. You know, obviously I have directions written down in my firebox as far as what my wife or daughter should do. Should I, you know, we're all going to pass away when I pass away, because I have a significant amount of money, what I consider significant, probably around $10,000 at this point, into Splinterlands. What should they do? You know, obviously they're probably not going to be interested in playing Splinterlands, but who knows? They could pick up the account and, you know, get into it. But I have instructions on how they should log in and everything. But legally speaking, you know, according to the team, it might be interesting to see what would happen or what should happen in the event of, you know, when somebody who, say, for instance, is a major holder in Splinterlands, what should they do? As well as, you know, what Lee was talking about in Atlas Earth. So obviously in Atlas Earth, it all goes back to the game, but they are going to refund whatever's owed to the to the family. So there's no way to actually transfer the account. And this is all wrapped around, I think, that obviously with these games we play, right here we're looking at a match that my bot had picked up. Let's see what it does. I use the Archmage bot. So, okay, so it must be a low mana match. Let's see. He's got Izzyar in the first place. I have Izzyar in the second place. Oh, this is my secondary account. I'm wondering, why is it only playing Izzyar at level 1? And then it's throwing Ujarak Elder in the first. Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. See, I would not have thrown this in the first. I would have thrown this in the second spot, because now Ujarak Elder can be targeted because it has camouflage, which would work in the second spot. Yeah, I think I'm going to lose this one because I think the bot made a bad choice. Yeah. So either way, back to my point. Obviously, one of the tenets of Web3 is that it's an investment, what you're putting into it, and there should be a method for transferring accounts and account holdings to your next of kin. So that might be an interesting topic. I might look into it for upcoming video. But as far as Atlas Earth, it's a completely different game. It's not a Web3 game, and they are really doing everything they can to combat multiple accounts. In fact, in the game, multiple accounts are not stood for. You will be banned if you have multiple accounts. You can log into your same account on multiple devices, but not at the same time. You can't even log into your wife's account on your mobile device. That'll get you banned. So, but they're fighting, you know what we're all fighting, the people to try to exploit the system. So anyway, interesting topic. Thanks for bringing it up, Lee. Jabby Saint says, Weaver synergizes with cards with high health. Okay, good point. Rooney207 says, at Lee, do you have a contingency plan for passing the credentials to next of kin or will trust? Lee says, I just saw your answer. Sorry for asking. Oh, no problem. Good topic of discussion. Yeah, well, so you've got to be really aware of all these games and the exact rule sets. And so in the case of Atlas Earth, you really technically can't pass the account to somebody else. Now, if that family member or something or other kept your phone number going and used your phone, then they probably, and email address, they probably wouldn't know. But there's a lot going on behind the scenes. Sorry, I was trying not to hiccup. I need a drink of water. But there's a lot, we've talked about this before, and this applies to Splinterlands and all other Web3 games. If you've got a method, a game out there, well, I would say any way of making money, there's going to be people that try to exploit it or do exploit it. So part of the game, creating the game and keeping it up and making it better is actually work into developing the game and putting that into place. The other part is actually trying to make sure people don't exploit it as much as possible. And we've talked about this for years. We've been talking about the bot farms since I started playing more than 3 years ago, right? Okay. Let's see what everybody has to say. Let's look in and spend some rewards. Let's go into the shop. So I've got a little bit over 300,000 spend, mostly because I just haven't been spending a lot. The epic draws are 7,500, and if I bought 10, obviously that would be 75,000. So let's start off with that. I like that idea. Let's do epic draws. Do I have alchemy? Yeah, I have alchemy potions, of course. Let's go ahead and use them. I wouldn't use the potions on commons, though. Let's see what I got here. I usually do separate videos for this, but I'm figuring, well, why not? Just reveal all. There's the Thanalorian blade we were talking about. So I got 3 conjurers, 2 Thanalorian blades. All right. 2 Olivia of the Brook and 2 Shock Trooper. Love that artwork. I know I've said it a dozen times, but I hope the artist is watching one of these times and gets that feedback. Okay, so that should set me down to about what? 230,000. So let's go in here, and I'm just avoiding the chests. I know. Gathering, you put out a number of things on the chests, but oh, you know what I want? I do want 2 levels of merits. So let's go ahead and buy the first level because I firmly think that the value is there. It's like a no-brainer. It's like the first thing that I buy with my glint is like it's no-brainer, the value of these. Let's do 2 levels. See what everybody's saying. Rooney207 says, decrops is super slow and clunky. Well, I do think it is quite slow, and I think there's a lot of optimization they could be doing on the back end. And once again, I'm not a developer, but it does seem like there's a lot of clicks needed to get everything done in game. Obviously, the things you're doing are not hugely time relevant. Meaning like in Golem Overlord, I try to do all my attacks very quickly and then claim, because otherwise you become a target really fast. As you do your attacks and you bring in a lot of part, you go to the top of the leaderboards or the top of the boards as far as being attacked, right? Making yourself a juicy target. So I try to go through, do all my attacks very quickly and claim very quickly. And each one of those attacks takes a blockchain action, and then the claim takes a blockchain action. So if any of that was clunky, then I would get hit really fast. Now, I'm saying that because the guys that work on Golem Overlord have really put work into making that those blockchain transactions and everything that goes on in the back end very efficient. So I can go through and do that, and most times I don't get held up. Now, here lately, they've been throwing in the new, relatively new Google MFA check, which it asks you a question and you have to go to the picture and pick out the pictures, which once in a while hangs me up. But with that said, I do think I am enjoying decrops. I like it. There's not a whole lot to it. I don't get into it as deep as a lot of people do, or some people do, but it's very easy to get into. But I do agree with you that it could use some optimization. Okay, let's go back and let's do some rare draws. How much is 50? Let's go ahead and do 50 rare draws. No. Of course, I only have 3 potions on this account. Let's see what everybody's saying. Gathering says, Rooney207 says, at Lee, it's best if you prepare to advance the contingency transition. Yeah, I would say that if you have a fair amount of money, this applies to any investment, not just Web3, right? You need to have something in your firebox. I keep it in a firebox instruction set, especially if you have any crypto. I have instruction set. I have my cold wallets. I'm figuring that if you're playing Web3 games, you're also moderately into crypto. If you have cold wallets, include instructions, include the cold wallets, include like a power cord for the to charge the cold wallets. Like they're mostly USB, but and step-by-step instructions, because you've got to remember that most of these people that are going to be picking these up whenever you pass are not going to be into crypto as much as we are. So they're going to need step-by-step instructions. Step 1, go to this website. Step 2, etc. So that's my point there. And especially with the games, they're going to need step-by-step instructions. I keep a book. It's got all my passcodes. It's got my keys, my various keys for the games, for my primary, secondary account, and instructions on what they should do. Now, they may not be overly worried about it to start with. Obviously, you're dead. They're going to get you in the ground or whatever. But after that, they may be considering, oh, he's talked about this all the time. That Bronze Dragon, he did a live show every week on it. He did videos right and left. He must have a bunch of money. And, I don't keep any of this from my wife. So I tell her what's going on, and she understands. So she'll know that whenever I go, she should look at this as an investment and should get into it and figure out what to do with it. Obviously, the instruction would be to sell off or, etc., and then funnel the money back into the bank account. Okay, so let's go ahead and reveal all, since I've been blabbing. Come on, gold foils. Let's see a gold foil. Come on, one gold foil, please. One gold foil. Let's see here. I think these rares are overall pretty strong. I do like the Commander Slade. The Quilliam Legendary seems pretty nice. I haven't played with the Janny Rebel much. I do happen to like games that or cards that bring the Inspire, especially if you have a rule set where you're going to use all melee. I do like the Mariput Slinger. Okay, I mean, it's just a general smattering of each of the cards. And let's go back and let's pick up some commons as well. Why not? How much is 200? It's 30,000. Let's pick up half a batch. Doing my boost on Atlas Earth while we're talking.
Excuse me?
Oh.
Do you mind if I ask how much you spent on all of that?
And turn the sound down. So Atlas Earth has a... the main thing is it's based around advertising, okay? And you can watch an advertisement every 20 minutes and pick up 2 Atlas bucks. So that's one of the main premises of it. So, and boosting is the second premise. So if you have different tier boosts, and depending upon how many parcels of land you have in the game, you have a different boost. So you start out with 30 times here in the States, it goes to 20 times. As you go up in the amount of parcels, it goes down. But here's the key thing. If you forget to do your boost once an hour, then it goes down to like almost a microscopic amount that you're earning. So basically it's a mechanism built into the game so that if people forget about their account and forget to go in and watch the advertisements and such, then their account will still be making money, but it'll just be microscopic compared to what it could be making. So, okay, here are the commons. And obviously, with 200, it's just going to be like a smattering of all of them. Let's check out chat. Gathering asks, are you going to unlock any more cards now that the cost has gone up? Are you picking up any soulbound cards? Good question. The answer is I will probably not be unlocking any more cards. The further answer to that question is I will probably be picking up some more soulbound cards off the market, specific ones, and probably ones you already know about, the higher end ones. So we'll take a look at that after we're done here. We can go through and combine these and see where I stand here, but we'll take a look. I'll leave a mental reminder for that. Lee says that would be a lot bigger deal with a higher tier player account like Stealth. I agree. And I don't know what to say about Stealth. Stealth is the leader, the president of the game in Atlas Earth for the United States, and he's overall leader, raking in tons of money. I did a video this last week. He's making about $20,000 a year off of the game. However, with that said, you know, numbers varying, and there's a lot of variables. He probably has put more than 100,000 into the game. But yeah, that's interesting that you can put this much into the game, and then when you die, there's nothing that you can transfer. Interesting. Might be worth bringing up on the Discord for one of the mods to kick in about. Okay, I think that's it. Let's go ahead and go to the guild, buy a few Gladius packs. How many? I can buy 2 Gladius packs. I usually do this on a separate video, but just going ahead and do this. Yeah, if you just started playing the strength, you should be in a guild. Oh, that's an interesting point. I got tagged in Discord this week by Royal Eagle, and he says, hey, do you know all the people that you signed up in the last couple months? Which means people are using my referral code from Splinterlands, which is a good thing. And I had to say, well, no, not really. I looked through the names, and the people are basically people that watched my show and used the referral links, which I appreciate. But the downside to that is there was not a very high conversion rate as far as, and this is what we've been talking about with Splinterlands, right? A lot of people try it, but not a lot of people stick with it. So if you're watching this video and you were one of the ones that used my referral code, just let me know. If you tried it out and decided not to stick with Splinterlands, let me know. I mean, this is just all feedback I'm going to send to the team, because one of the big things is the Splinterlands team is always looking for feedback, and in a lot of cases puts it to use, right? So, okay, so let's go ahead and open up a few Gladius packs. How many do I got? I got 5. Okay, let's open up 5. See what I got. Yeah, if you're relatively new to Splinterlands, you should be in a guild. And by being in a guild, you can fight in what's called weekly brawls. And with that, you can earn the points to buy these packs, which are very strong cards. Looks just kind of scanning over. A bunch of... oh, there's an epic. Okay, looks like pretty standard draw except for one epic. Let's go ahead and gold foil, Whistling Damon, gold foil Crash. And there's my epic, Edith Emberstar. I use her once in a while on high mana matches. As always, Katrelba is a perennial favorite, as well as Bertrall in low mana matches. I use Ajax once in a while. I like Crash over in Splinterforge. For that extra speed. Okay. So we can go to... I'm just doing this while we're talking, just to have something to do. Let's take a look at... let's see here. Rooney207 says, Web3 accounts should be in perpetuity. It should be treated as business. I completely agree. But... there's a difference between, like I pointed out, between like talking about Splinterlands and other Web3 accounts and Atlas Earth, which is a mobile game and it's not Web3 technically. You earn their in-game currency, which can be used to purchase land parcels, which ups your rent, which your rent you can download to PayPal or directly to your bank account, or gift cards to Amazon, or a number of other ways you can get that money. But it's primarily an advertising platform, and that's how they make their money, right? Which I will say, welcome Germany. If you're from Germany, Atlas Earth can now be played in Germany as of last week. So they are doing a lot of expansion this year. They're in a lot of other countries that they weren't at the beginning of the year. That's for sure. Let's see here. Rooney207 also says Web3 accounts should be transgenerational wealth transfer. I agree. But the interesting point that I think I'm going to look into as a topic for a future video is exactly what are the details around that in Splinterlands. And is it addressed in the white paper? Or it might be an interesting topic for Royal Eagle to look into. Maybe he can point me in the right direction. Let's see here. Now, I will say that I love this combine all cards. This has come to light. I was watching a KGM video the other day, and I saw him using. I'm like, I've completely not seen that. And somebody else said that this has been around for quite a while. Well, it is pretty small on my benefit. But I will also say somebody else pointed out, and I'm sorry I'm not remembering everybody's names, but I get a lot of comments on a daily basis. But be careful when you're using the combine all cards button, okay? Because if you are on your general page and don't have it selected down, filtered down, like I have this filtered down specifically to Rebellion rewards cards that are epic or legendary. If you have it on one of your general pages and use combine all, it'll combine all of them. So if you have specific cards that you're keeping different BCX available for different, buy, sell, trade, combine, things like that, those different reasons, it'll combine them all. So be very careful that you have your filter set exactly how you want to combine all. So we are here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select all of the Rebellion's rewards cards, because all those cards I just bought. Let's go ahead and just do and I just looked. Great discussion today. Time is slipping up on. Let's go ahead and just do a combine all. Just for just to save time. But I love the button. Just make sure your filters are set exactly how you want to do that combine all, because it could backfire on you. Okay, so it looks like my commons, now keep in mind this is my secondary account, not my primary account. My commons are mostly level 4 with a couple at level 3. A lot of people are loving on that giant alpine skink. I like the Nimble Duck Explorer, very handy. I also like, I think the Urajak Elder is a very strong card and should not be a common. More to come on that. My rares look like they're at mostly level 2. Some of them are at level 1. Like I said earlier, I'm liking the Commander Slade. I'm liking the Mariput Slinger. Once you start leveling up the Mariput Slinger at level 4, it picks up slow. I love any card that has slow on it. I love to throw that in. One of my favorite cards of all time was the Ooze. And the main point behind that was slowing your opponents down. Well, now you can kind of get that same, you can get that same effect, as well as not using up a whole separate card slot on another card and get very strong damage. And by the time this one gets to top level, it also gets Reflection Shield and Redemption. Okay, so yeah, of course, I should love anything with the name Dragon in it, right? At top level, this is Opportunity plus Scavenger. So not completely exciting, but it is 5 damage for 5 damage plus its Opportunity plus its Scavenge. 4 speed's pretty decent, unless you're in reverse speed. So pretty decent card. And to look at epics, oh, drat. I was hoping that I would have made level 2 with the Olivia the Brook, because as we said, that's where she picks up Mimic, but not quite, maybe next week. So we're looking at mostly level 1 and level 2 with the Conjurer. And I don't think I've bought any legendaries. No legendaries on this account. So let's catch up with chat a little bit. Gathering says merits are a no-brainer. Yeah, in fact, let's go over and reset and go to Gladius and go ahead, since I bought some Gladiator cards. Once again, set your filters. My filters are set on just Gladius cards, and then use the Combine All button. And yes, I remember about the beta pack. I'm still going to open that up. I'm just keeping my eye on the time here. So once again, this secondary account has pretty much been playing since these Gladius cards. Well, it's been in a guild drawing Gladius cards ever since it started playing, which was like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. So the commons are at level 3, almost level 4. Almost have a level 4 Controllable Gobson, except for this one, Witch of Warwick, which I don't use very often. The rares are mostly level 2 with 1 level 3. My Captain Katie on this account is still level 1, unfortunately. My epics, I do like that I have a level 2 Quora on this one, but a couple other ones are never hardly ever use Gorth. And my legendary, only 1 here, and it's a level 1. So that's where those stand, if you were wondering. So let's go ahead and jump back over to my main account. And this week, in case you were wondering, what I did this week as far as Splinterlands goes is I did pick up 3 beta packs. And the reason was the price was nice. So I do have 3 beta packs here. Before we do that, let's see what everybody's saying. Merit's a no-brainer. I agree. Maybe even the first 3 if you have the glint. Yeah, I was thinking about when I was doing it, and I would agree with you. Probably up to the 3rd level is probably definitely worth it. International Travel Channel is here. Guten Tag. I skipped over Alex T. My guy, Bronze Dragon, the biggest Splinterlands YouTuber. He had 600 plus views on his last video. Well, thanks for noticing. I've been trying to keep up with Splinterlands, and I've been trying to keep up with all my new users on Atlas Earth, and I've also been having fun playing Seraph. If you haven't checked out my live stream, I might do a live stream tonight. If you are not doing anything, stop by. If you like ARPGs, Diablo style, stop by. I'm still in the phase of leveling up my character. You don't hit the tokenization Web3 part of the game until the very end of the game once you've completed the storyline. I chose, could I buy my way through? Yeah, but the fun I'm having playing the game is playing the game. And I'm almost there. I'm in chapter 8, act 8 out of 10, so I'm almost there. Thinking about doing a live stream. If you see it pop up tonight, jump on. If you're not doing anything else, we can chat. So let's go ahead and open up a beta pack. I know the value is probably not going to be there. I know it, but it was fun. I got them for like $7.50. So let's see what I got. An epic instead of a rare. Nice. I'll take that. Goblin Sorcerer. I like the Goblin Sorcerer. I used to use him once in a while. Not so much. Goblin Shaman. Feral Spirit. Very good card as well. If you need a sneak for 3 mana, very good. And we have Saber Shark. Use it. Also a sneak card. So I got 3 sneak cards in this pack. Nice. I like sneak. And the epic is Magi of the Forest. I don't know if I had one of him. Let's take a look at him. Let's go over to items. Let's clear the filter. Let's go to beta. And let's clear these. And he is Earth. Nope, that's the first one I have of him. So you've got 4 mana, 2 magic, 2 speed, 3 health. And he just levels up. He does not get a separate power. At top level, 4 damage. I don't know. Kind of mediocre, I guess, compared to some of the... I mean, at the time it came out, it was probably great. And it obviously does synergize with the Chaos Legion Earth Summoner. But I would argue that there are probably better choices at this point for 4 mana. But pretty cool, though. I mean, how much is it going for? $1. So I didn't make my money back, but it was fun nonetheless. Okay, let's wrap up by seeing what everybody has to say after that. Rooney207 says, at Bronze Dragon Gaming, thought that was the wife asking you. I don't remember what that was referring to. Politz85, hey, stopping by to say hello. Thanks for dropping by. Probably already gone, but thanks for dropping by. Always enjoying watching a Bolts video. Very high energy. Rooney207 says Splinterlands or Dow should consider ads as well. That would be a separate, income stream. There are several different things. I still think they should do the daily login thing. A lot of games do it. A lot of free-to-play games do it. Do the daily login thing where you get a little bit of extra for daily login and clicking on it, and then you can buy the pass, which is a little bit, $5 a month, $10 a month, whatever. Another income stream for the team, And this is, to me, it's a no-brainer. But what do I know? I'm sure there are a lot of variables around that, and we've talked about it from time to time over the years. It's just never got implemented, and obviously it's an extra bit of work, but I would think that it would help the team out. But yeah, ads would as well. Gathering says, I don't like combine all because I can't tell if they were partially level. Yeah, I know you're big on that. And I would agree in certain situations. But to me, especially on the soulbound cards, my primary goal is just leveling them to max at this point. Now, when we were still under the old situation where we were level bound and you can play in different leagues, then yes, I followed what you did or you're talking about, and I only leveled to silver or gold or diamond or whatever we were talking about, right? But now there are no levels. I mean, there are levels, but there's no, you can't do that anymore, right? So with the soulbound cards, now with non-soulbound cards, I completely agree with you. But with the soulbound cards, since I know that the prices up front are going to be prohibitive for me to unlock those cards when I get to that point, I'm just leveling them up because we've proven the card unlocking fee to me is just prohibitive. I did unlock some to switch over to my secondary account, but I'm not going to unlock a lot. And a lot of these cards, you can go on the market and buy the cards for at or lower than what the unlocking fee is. So, and obviously that changes from time to time. I was watching a Dwayne video earlier when I was working out. He did a day or two ago about where he bought, he was buying some of the soulbound cards and they were right at or under what it actually cost to unlock them. So to me, I'm just buying as other people unlock them, the specific cards I want. Okay, so we're closing out at the bottom of the hour. Thanks everybody for dropping by. Alex T kicks in, says Matt said he didn't want ads, and asks what time of the live stream. If I do it, it will probably be about 7 or 8 o'clock Eastern time because that'll be after I have dinner. And that's usually my gaming time anyway. So look for that. I hate to kind of like not schedule something, but I did one during the week and it just didn't do well. The first one I did a week and a half ago did pretty well. And the one in the middle week, it was just oddly timed and it was a surprise. So I didn't get a lot of people on there. But look for that this evening, Eastern time, between 7 and 8, I'll start. And I usually go for about 2 hours or so. But I will be going, it would be like content of like Act 8, probably to 9. I'm over level 50 now. I forget exactly what level. So check it out if you're interested. Rooney207 says that was the sound question about how much you've spent. And Alex T says get based, which oddly enough, I don't know what based means. Sorry about, I claim old fartiness. But I've seen that term used. I just haven't looked it up. But anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed the stream. I appreciate everybody for stopping by. And once again, Gathering, thanks for the super chat. I do have super chats available if you feel like kicking in a thank you. Appreciate you. And I hope everyone has a good week. And once again, as I always say, this has been Bronze Dragon. I hope everyone on your side is happy and healthy. And I'll see you in Splinterlands or one of the other games I cover.